Public Affairs programming on WQPT is brought to you by the Singh Group at Merrill Lynch, serving the wealth management needs of clients in the region for over 25 years.
What's bugging you about the cities? What's going right? It's your chance to have a voice. Plus, the Dean of Tourism is ready to retire, but not before telling us about the challenges ahead in the cities. Joe Taylor and Quad City Tourism are synonymous. He's been at it for more than 3 decades, but he's leaving at year's end. So what's the future for one of our biggest industries? That's still ahead, but first, the big table. On April 20th and 21st, community leaders and just plain folks will host community discussions about the future of the region. About 5,000 people are expected to attend sites like coffee shops, meeting rooms, even people's homes. What's the point of it all? And why should your voice be heard? Joining us are 2 of the several people who are hosting community discussions on those 2 days. Juan Valtierra is the owner of Reflex Hip Hop in the Cities. Randy Moore is the Chief Executive Officer of Iowa American Water. Thank you both for joining us. I appreciate it.
A pleasure.
Yeah, Juan, let me start with you. I mean, why would you get involved in something like this? Why do you think this is worth your time?
Oof, man, I think it's very important for our community, especially for the future of our community. As a young person, as a person involved in a lot of urban just scenery, it's very important for me to be able to give those people a voice. The young kids that are coming up that have a lot to say, especially with the way social media is taking place now and the different issues that come up with that, I feel like right now is the best time to talk about it before it gets out of hand.
Well, when it comes to community activism or improving a community, it's so easy for, I hate to say this, but your age group or younger people just to stay on the sidelines.
Yeah.
I don't have a voice, let them take care of it. They're not going to listen to me anyhow. Somehow this is different?
Yeah, it's very open to a lot of different people. I think right now the best thing to do is get involved. If you're not getting involved, you're going to be left in the, just in the dust, and that's not what we want for people here in the community. We want them to be involved, have a part in what's going on.
So Randy, you know a little bit about the Big Table. You've known that it's worked in other communities as well. What is the concept? What are we trying to accomplish here?
So one of the things that I really like about the Big Table event is, first of all, we look at this as not just an event, but it's a movement. It's an opportunity for people to get involved in something that's going to make a significant change. One of the reasons that I believe in this is because, as Juan has mentioned earlier, it's going to be open up to everybody. Anybody that wants to come and have something to say, whatever your thought is about, whatever issue that you see, not a gripe session, but at the end of the day, we're going to look at what do we do to the Quad Cities to make it a more cool, connective, creative, and prosperous place by 2030. So how would you like for this place to look? How would you like for this area to look in the year 2030? And we're going to collect and capture all of those ideas, get hopefully 5,000 or so people together to kind of get their opinion, work with those opinions, look for trends. And then what I really like about this, after this is done and over with, this is not a one and done. We're going to sit down, we're going to evaluate what we've heard, and then see just what do we need to do to make the Quad City a better place by the year 2030.
This is not going to end up a written report in a binder on somebody's shelf behind their desk, is what you're saying.
Exactly. We've seen it happen, and we've seen it work. Columbus, Ohio, for example, was one of the places where some of the senior executives from the Quad City visited a while back and heard how they managed this process. And we believe it's something that we can duplicate here and come up with equal or even better results.
Well, Juan, you're active in music in the Quad Cities. Yes. I mean, tell me, if you're going to be at this table, what topic do you want to bring up?
So I'll actually be hosting a table on April 20th at 5 p.m. at the center, right off of Brady Street. And the topic that I chose is positivity through art. I've been dancing for a long time. I've started making music recently, and I feel like art is very influential in culture, different communities. And if we can switch the message from just, street life, which is, that's real. A lot of people go through that. But at the same time, where can we go from that? I want to share hope through music. I want to share, values and just positive things through music, and I want to bring people together that have the same mindset so that we can collaborate and put some projects out for the youth, for the kids that are growing up, you know, looking up to us as these artists, for them to see that you can do good things with your music and still, you know, be true to yourself.
What do you think of the Quad Cities right now? I mean, do you feel that there is support?
Yes, I actually, you know, just from doing what I'm doing, I've come in contact with so many new people, but I feel like there still is a need for it. You know, I go to a lot of different places where there's a lot of young kids, and most of the time they ask me to play music that is not very appropriate at the time, especially like at different school events. Like,
Sure.
But that's what they know, that's what they're exposed to. And I just want to bring something else to the table, you know, let them choose between this or that. You know, what do you want to listen to instead of just being told what to listen to.
Randy, what do you want to bring to the table?
So one of the things that I have a passion for is equality and equity. One of the things that the Big Table event is going to support is giving those people that are marginalized, disenfranchised, give them an opportunity to have a voice. I like to use the analogy, we talk a lot about equality, and that's a buzzword in business across the nation. Diversity is a big concern. We're asking everybody to come and have a seat at the table. But what we overlook sometimes is the equity component. And the equity, when I say that, what I'm referring to is, yes, we want you to come to the table, but when equity is there, everybody has a plate. Everybody has silverware. Everybody has the proper tools to be successful. So that's one of the components that I'm pushing among many, but that's the one that rises to the top for me.
So tell me what a person would do. They want to go either April 20th or the 21st. They live in one of the Quad Cities, you know, wherever they do live. Yeah. How do you get started? Obviously, you head at the web page, but
sure.
I mean, I'm not sure if I want to invest all this time.
Sure. So it's really simple, and it doesn't take an awful lot. You can go to the web page, quadcitiesbigtable.com. Once you get to the page, it's just a couple of clicks. You can either be a host for a table, you can be a participant, or if you want to be a champion, if you want to just carry some flyers, you can click any one of the three options. If you decide that you want to participate, you say what city you're in, that would be an option for you. Then you can pick a table. If you want to host a table, you can enter the information, and then one more click and you're done. It's that simple. We even have it set up. There are a number of people who perhaps don't do the social media. They can call 563-484-0525, and we'll do everything for them. We'll get them registered and signed up. So we're encouraging everybody, give it a shot, go take a look at the website, sign up, get involved.
Well, as you said, you're going to be at the center, which
yes.
is at the top of the Brady Street Hill.
Yes.
So who do you want to see show up?
I want to see different business owners, different artists in our community that have, you know, a following. Some young people even that might want to, you know, just let us know what you want to listen to, what you want to hear. And then also just anybody who wants to make the community better.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bring a friend, yeah.
Well, it'll be, I would assume that you also want very different opinions.
Yes, I want a diverse group. I mean, I can have like all hip hop artists, but you know, that's only gonna give me a certain point of view. I want to see, you know, business owners. I want to see people, just random people in the street that like music. I want to hear everybody's point of view, and then to see how we can make it positive.
Yeah,
you know?
You almost want to go into like a bar or a restaurant, shut the doors, you have all different people that you don't know, and just sit there and go, okay, let's sit down and figure this out. And what do we hope to figure out?
Well, basically, the fundamental focus is how do we better the Quad Cities for 2030? And we want it to be a concerted effort. It would be real easy for a group of key stakeholders in the community to get in a room and make the decision, but
which is what we see time
which
and
is
time
what
again,
happens every day. But that's why I like this. This is something that's different, and everybody's going to have an opinion. Everybody's going to have a voice. As Juan has said, we want to see all different types of people, and what we encourage people to do, if you're going to participate, be part of a table with a group of people that you don't normally interact with. Go out and get involved in something that's going to be a little different for you, for exactly what we are saying here, to get the different opinions. You'd be surprised at how other people think.
Yeah. Well, and I was thinking it's going to be, what, an hour to 90 minutes?
Roughly, yeah.
And you
yeah.
wouldn't mind people just getting a little out of their comfort zone, basically, is what you're saying.
Exactly, and there are some people that have they're volunteering to host tables in their homes. Some of them have said that we've got neighbors that we've never really interacted with. Why not come to the house for an hour or so, have a cup of coffee, and let's just talk. So I'm really excited about the opportunities, the synergies that are going to come out of this.
You think of the 1930s, the 1940s, where people were neighbors and they talked across the fence, and you just don't see that anymore. You see it on social media, perhaps, but there's no real give and take, eye to eye, person to person, and that's what you want to see as well.
Yes, I want to see just unity, like as a community. I think this is a big step to making some great changes here in the Quad Cities.
Well, let's be honest. I mean, Randy's one of the shareholders,
yes,
one of the big wigs of our community.
Yes.
You and me, we're just like,
we're out here doing our best.
Yeah, how tough is it, do you think it is going to get more people?
I think it's hard to get people involved because they don't know what it is.
Yeah.
They haven't seen it or they haven't been a part of it before, but it can be just like any other conversation. We can talk about any topic that we want and then just try to see how we can make things happen for the better of everybody.
Well, you talked about the positives,
yes,
and how you want the arts to really change the community. What are some of the negatives? What is something that you really want to see changed in the community?
So I see that there are already some events for the different kind of arts. There's a lot of concerts and stuff, but I want to see more like positive, just like that's the main message, to bring hope to the people. Like more concerts, more events like that.
Well, you kind of brought up the Juneteenth event that is held during the summer.
Yes, in Leclerc Park. I think that gives a lot of people a voice, and it just represents some of the history that we've been through here in this country.
And does it also, I mean, it's kind of nice because it's not so commercial as so many events are. This is very much a grassroots event.
Yes.
You like to see more of that?
Yeah, I would like to see more of that. And just more, man, just more.
Well, I mean, Randy, this is like, because you're looking for a whole spectrum of ideas. I mean, this is just a perfect example of that, is that not?
Absolutely, and one of the things that really stands out about this, we have this concept, and you hear it often, that we want to be a melting pot where everybody can come and just merge together. But I push back a little bit against that concept, because to me, the melting pot requires the individual to lose their personality, lose their individuality, and become as one. I prefer to use the concept of a salad bowl. And in a salad bowl, we've got the carrots, the lettuce, the different components.
Don't forget the croutons.
Don't forget the croutons, but we're all in the bowl together, and we make one big dish. So that's what this is doing. This is bringing everybody with different ideals, different thoughts, different backgrounds, different socioeconomical statuses, all together with their ideals, with the intent that we're going to make a better Quad Cities.
And as you said, this is part of a greater initiative, the Q 2030 program, which is being spearheaded much by the Quad City Chamber of Commerce. I mean, the whole idea is to get this area to progress forward to a brand new decade and a whole new way of thinking for unity for all the communities. I mean, how important is the entire initiative, not just the big table?
Well, and that's a good point, because the Q 2030, while it is guided, I'll say, by the chamber, the big table concept is something that is indeed a community effort. We have 3 individuals who are sitting as the tri-chairs for this organization, for this initiative, for this movement. The Community Foundation has gotten behind it to kind of support with some of the back office concerns. There are just a number of organizations within the Quad Cities, in addition to the Chamber, that are supporting and guiding this through.
Absolutely.
So it's a big movement, like I said earlier, across the Quad Cities.
It almost has to be, though, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. There's no way that one organization could really manage something of this magnitude.
And so how do you think this is going to all come together? I mean, is this something that is a process that's going to take years, obviously until 2030 at least, but I mean, it's so much part of a bigger picture that, like you said, this is a movement, not just an event.
Right, and that's the way it has to be approached. You know, any big task before you eat an elephant one bite at a time. Sometimes you don't know what the issues are until you know what the issues are. So this is the stage in the process where we're trying to identify both perhaps the negative, but more importantly, the positive things that we can do to make a positive change in the area.
How do you think it's going to go? You think you're going to get a good turnout?
Yes, I believe so. I'm really excited about this, and I really can't say this enough. Like, get involved. get involved. Sign up to host a table, sign up to join a table, or just share a post on Facebook, let people know.
Very important.
Juan Valtierra.
Yeah.
Randy Moore, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
We do want to remind you once again, the Big Table discussions will be held at several different locations throughout the cities on April 20th and 21st. Go to quadcitiesbigtable.com to register and to get more information. We'll give you more on that later on in the program. Well, still ahead, bolstering one of our biggest industries. Just how much do we bank on tourism in the cities? But first, Laura Adams takes a look at some of the big draws in our area that makes living here so special. So here's Laura, all set to go out and about.
This is Out and About for April 9th through 15th. Hi, I'm Laura Adams. See the new exhibits at Niabi Zoo opening April 14th. And it's time for the 21st annual QC In Fisherman Swap Meet at the QCC Expo Center April 14th. Lloyd Kilmer presents a lecture on repacking for retirement at Western Illinois University Quad Cities April 12th at 5. And the Geneseo Community Center present their 13th annual Spring Fling Shopping Expo April 14th. While the Erie Spring Fling vendor event takes place at the Erie Annex on April 15th. The exhibit Tall Grass to Knee High, A Century of Iowa Farming opens at the Herbert Hoover Museum April 14th. Plus, Dress for Success present a one-of-a-kind event, Recycle the Runway Fashion Show at the River Center April 12th. Or check out modern square dancing at the 55th Iowa Square and Round Dance Convention at the Isle Casino April 12th through 14th. Bishop Hill is host to music to commemorate the Illinois Bicentennial on the 14th, and Junior Theater presents a free workshop on their production, The Emperor's New Clothes, at the Fairmont Street Davenport Library April 14th at 2. Quad City Music Guild Youth Chorus will perform their spring concert April 15th at 2 p.m. at the Music Guild Theater, while Circa 21's Church Basement Ladies in Rise Up O Men continues on the main stage, while next door Manny Lopez Big Band performs at the Speakeasy April 13th. For more information, visit wqpt.org.
Thank you, Laura. Kevin Carton loves the music scene in the cities. He was exposed to it a lot while attending Augustana College, but now he's comfortable while performing in his piano-based pop rock group called Minus Six, directing music at Christ the King Church and Alleman High School, or playing on his own at the Black Box Theater stage in Moline, and that's where we caught up with him and his original music. Kevin Carton joins us with No Name.
Had to excuse me with my slow brain. It lacks features, I blame it on my teachers. Your warm embrace, not face, suggest I know your name. How to say sweetly, I don't, it's gone completely. But it's not like I don't care. Perhaps you got some sun, maybe change your hair. No, please don't take offense to my lacking competence to recall names. I've never been good at names. Try to help another when a brother's in need. Though I've heart, that don't mean my left brain's smart. I just smile and nod when numbers come into play. For that arithmetic always goes down like arsenic. Now it's not that I don't try, it's only there's one thing and I can't quantify. Oh, how many math tests I failed, many more than I prevailed. Don't have me count, I've never been good at math. Hey, what's your name? Don't have me help with your math.
Kevin Carton with No Name from the Black Box Theater stage in Moline. Music is just one of the many things that draws people to the cities. Tourism is more than hotel stays and dining out. It is a multi-million-dollar industry that is part of the lifeblood of this area. And since about 1990, a guy by the name of Joe Taylor has been a part of it all. Joining us is the soon-to-retire president of the Quad Cities Convention and Tourism Bureau, Joe Taylor. You took over, what, in
1998.
98.
Yes.
So you've been on the scene since some of the toughest times in Quad City economy, as we were getting out of the farm economy problems of the 80s, stretching into the 90s.
Tourism became part of the solution to the problem that was the loss of agricultural implement manufacturing in the late 1980s. So
really had no choice, right?
We had to figure out something, and so tourism with riverboat rides and excursions became part of that package to showcase the Quad Cities. We started to realize we had something called the Mississippi River going through our community, and why don't we take advantage of that? So what was our backyard on the river suddenly became our front yard, and we started showcasing the river and found out that visitors would come from many miles away to experience the river in the Quad Cities.
Well, let's be honest. I mean, how many years that we just had industry along the river, and you couldn't even see the banks of the Mississippi.
That is correct, and that's been a trend for the last several years, is to open up access to the riverfront, to those gorgeous views, trails, access to the river is what it's all about.
What was the big spark? Was it the riverboat gambling, or was it the mark of the Quad Cities?
I don't think it's any one thing, Jim. I think it's several things. I think it's a combination. Certainly, riverboat gaming put us on the national stage and was a new attraction. The mark of the Quad Cities. I was talking to someone just the other day who pointed out that before the now TaxSlayer Center opened, you had to go to Cedar Rapids or Peoria for your entertainment, and now folks from Cedar Rapids and Peoria are coming here for their entertainment.
I was going to point that out too, is because, I mean, when the mark hit the stage in downtown Moline, there was really nothing around it. I remember the old Deere warehouse was still across the street with gravel all over the place. Now it's you know, each of the communities of the Quad Cities seem to have its own little gem.
Absolutely. It's downtown revitalization, which has been a trend for several years, and each downtown is figuring out its piece of the puzzle, and no duplication in the Quad Cities. So every downtown's a little different, has a little different offering.
Was that another huge issue? Because, I mean, like the Chamber of Commerce's, each of the communities kind of had their own. When it came to convention and tourism, I think there wasn't really that much of a coordinated effort years ago.
Well, we established convention and visitors bureaus in the 1980s when hotel motel taxes came along, and you're correct. There were actually 3 tourism bureaus in the Quad Cities until we merged and formed the Quad Cities, a single voice for tourism in 1990.
And that's a huge difference, because if you think about it, I mean, you are competing against Cedar Rapids, Rockford, Peoria. You shouldn't be competing between Davenport, Moline, and Rock Island.
And that's what it had become. It was a lot of internal competition versus external competition, hence having an organization that would go beyond those city boundaries and be a regional marketing destination.
And sports marketing has been so huge as well.
I like to think that the TBK Sports Complex is going to thrive because of the foundation that's been laid over all these years with amateur and youth sports, and I'm going to rattle off alphabets here, but ASA, NAFTA, ISC, all of those softball organizations over the years have certainly driven us to identify the need that we now have grown to the point where we need not just outdoor venues, but an indoor, year-round venue to help fill those hotel rooms.
Oh, and when you talk about professional sports, you can't forget those other 3 letters, the PGA.
PGA, John Deere Classic, is, I talk about that all the time, how proud we are of the John Deere Classic, Birdies for Charity, Tournament of the Year in 2016, largest per capita charitable giving on the tour, so lots to be proud of there.
When it comes to tourism, I mean, do you kind of look at Deere & Company and say, wow, what you have done in order to stabilize this community, to expand the opportunities for not only residents but visitors?
Well, we certainly need to thank John Deere, because John Deere has been a driving force, first of all, in bringing dealers and customers here to the Quad Cities. They donated the land for the original mark of the Quad Cities.
Absolutely.
So the pavilion has certainly added to that mix. So John Deere has been a wonderful corporate citizen in helping support the Quad Cities.
So you talk about competition. You're going head-to-head all the time against not only areas in our area, of course, but also larger cities like St. Louis and Chicago.
That's an important point to make, Jim, because I want the public to understand that tourism doesn't just happen.
Right.
Folks just don't show up and check in at a hotel. They don't just show up at an attraction and buy a ticket. we're out there in the marketplace competing with other hotels and other attractions to get that visitor to come here to the Quad Cities and not some other community. Why? Because we want that economic benefit here, not elsewhere. So yes, it is highly competitive, and if we don't get the business, it will go somewhere else.
But the key is also to foster the events that are going on here. I mean, I know recently, within the last 3-4 years, a study on how the arts have an impact on tourism and the industry. You talked about sports, you talk about some of the music festivals as well. I mean, to foster some of these community events really is important for your job.
Absolutely. Events are significant to the Quad Cities, and our music events continue to evolve. All of our entertainment events really continue to evolve. They may not be what they were 10 or 20 years ago, but they're changing as the marketplace changes. So
well, I was going to ask you that. Is that a worry of yours? I mean, it's kind of an aging group that watches the Bix, and they've made some transformations. Used to be on the riverfront, then they were at Waterfront, and now they're at Rhythm City. The Blues Fest has had some problems every now and then. They had to cancel one year. Are you worried about those type of big events?
I'm not worried, because I think they are changing. I think Bix and Blues have adjusted. Every so often a new event will come along. Last year we had Muddy Fest. I don't know if it will return this year, but it's constantly
River Roots has evolved.
River Roots became alternating current, so I think it changes as the marketplace and customer demands change. So I think we'll see a changing entertainment scene, but not necessarily a decreasing entertainment scene.
Well, and actually the people that were involved in River Roots said it seems to be more effective to have a bunch of smaller venues than one great big one. That's the way they wanted to evolve. Is that kind of what you, and also let's be honest, they were backed pretty much by the Downtown Davenport Association. Let's get the people into downtown rather than just along the riverfront.
Correct, but I think it is easier to move smaller groups, to manage smaller groups. I think it's, I certainly like a smaller group than being in with 15,000 people. So yeah, it depends upon the customer, depends upon the venue, but I think it all bodes well to be able to shift and adjust as times change.
You don't leave until the first of the new year. You get to have some say in who gets to replace you?
Well, I don't exactly know how that will shake out, but yes.
Who do you want to see? What type of person do you want to see?
Oh, I think they have to be patient. I think they have to be persistent. You have to be humble. You can't take credit for everything, because you're just one small cog in a much larger wheel. So I think you just have to be a kind of person that engages the community and don't act like you're the boss, even though you are.
Small cog, but still an important cog, right?
Yeah.
Joe Taylor, President of the Quad City Convention and Tourism Bureau, thank you so much for all the work that you've done all these years, and thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. We're just a few weeks away from WQPT's annual Ready to Learn Early Childhood Conference. It's open to parents, childhood professionals, and child care providers in our area. You can register now for the April 21st conference that includes more than 20 sessions on topics like creating success with toddlers or building strong relationships in the classrooms. Head to WQPT.org to get more information and to register for the sessions. The Ready to Learn conference is held at Western Illinois University's Quad City campus, once again Saturday morning, April 21st. And a reminder that it's almost time to talk. Once again, the Quad Cities Big Table community discussion events coming up April 20th and 21st in the cities. Your chance to talk about what's right, what's wrong, what's inspiring, and what needs correcting in the place we call home. Some 5,000 of your neighbors are taking part. Now is your chance. Register for the Big Table by going to quadcitiesbigtable.com. On the air, on the radio, on the web, and on your mobile device. Thanks for taking some time to join us as we talk about the issues on the cities.
Public Affairs programming on WQPT is brought to you by the Sing Group at Merrill Lynch, serving the wealth management needs of clients in the region for over 25 years.